She was my best friend's sister. And my forbidden love. I always imagined what it would feel like the day Liam returned. He was my brother Ethan's best friend, practically raised in our home, the boy I had crushed on secretly since I was 13. But he left for college across the country 6 years ago, promising to come back someday. Someday felt like forever. Until one cloudy morning in Seattle, I walked onto our porch to paint the wooden railing, and there he stood. Tall. Broader. Older. His brown hair slightly messy, his jaw having that sharp edge it didn't have years ago. His eyes, those warm, stormy gray eyes, locked onto mine instantly. "Hannah," he whispered, surprised. "Wow. You grew up." I tried to play it cool, but my heart wasn't cooperating. It pounded so loud I wondered if he could hear it. "Liam," I finally breathed. "You're back." He looked at me with this soft intensity one wasn't ready for. Like he was noticing me for the first time. Like he was catching up on 6 years in one glance. When I stepped forward, he didn't hesitate, just opened his arms. I melted into his chest, and he held me longer than he should have. Longer than a friend's older brother should. And in that hug, in the quiet press of his heartbeat against my cheek, something unspoken passed between us. Something dangerous. Something I'd wanted for years. Ethan, my older, overprotective, annoyingly observant brother, organized a welcome-back gathering that evening. Our house was buzzing with familiar faces. Neighbors. Old classmates. A couple of Liam's childhood friends. But Liam barely looked at anyone. Just me. Every time our eyes met, a slow warmth crept through me. I kept telling myself it meant nothing. He was just being friendly. Just being thoughtful. Just Liam. But beneath those normal excuses, there was the truth I kept ignoring. He wasn't looking at me like a little sister anymore. Around 10 p.m., after most guests left, Liam walked up behind me in the living room. "It's loud in here," he murmured quietly. "Want some air?" My heart tripped. I nodded. We slipped out into the backyard, lit by soft golden fairy lights Ethan had put up last Christmas. The cool night breeze brushed my skin, making me shiver. Or maybe it wasn't the wind. Maybe it was him, standing too close, smelling like pine and mint and something entirely masculine. He leaned against the railing beside me. "I didn't expect you to look so." He paused. "Searching. Different. Different good?" I teased. He swallowed hard. "Very good." My cheeks burned. "You haven't changed much," I said, trying to sound casual. "Still irresponsible, still forget birthdays." He laughed, shaking his head. 6 years, and you still roast me the same." "There's a lot you missed," I said softly. "I know." Silence settled between us. Comfortable. Warm. Tense. Then he turned toward me fully. "Why didn't you answer my last message?" he asked. I blinked. "You stopped replying first." He exhaled slowly. "It got complicated." "How?" He hesitated, his voice dropping. "Because you weren't 16 anymore, Hannah. And I wasn't blind." The flutter in my chest felt like fireworks. "What did you see?" I whispered. He scanned my face slowly, deliberately. Something I shouldn't have. And that's when I felt it, an invisible line between us, thin but burning, stretching tight with every inch he leaned closer. "Liam," I warned, breathless. He shook his head. "I shouldn't be doing this." "Then don't." "But I can't seem to stop." My pulse jumped. His hand brushed my fingers, accidentally, intentionally, I couldn't tell. The touch was light, but electric. "Hannah," he said softly. "Tell me to step back." I didn't. And he knew. Slowly, like testing fate, he lifted his hand and tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear. I shivered. "You're not a kid anymore," he whispered. I know. And I'm trying really hard to remember who I'm supposed to be. And who's that? He swallowed. Your brother's best friend. I took a small step toward him. And who do you want to be? His breath hitched. The guy who can't stop staring at you tonight. My heart didn't just flutter. It exploded. Before I could say anything, he cupped my cheek gently and leaned down, slow, hesitant, like giving me time to pull away. I didn't. Our lips met in a soft, trembling kiss. Just a brush at first. Then deeper. Warmer. More real than any fantasy I'd had about him these past years. His hand slid to my waist. Mine tangled in his shirt. It wasn't wild. It wasn't rushed. It was everything forbidden, everything long avoided, everything finally acknowledged. When he pulled back, his forehead rested against mine. This was a bad idea, he whispered. I don't care, I whispered back. Morning sunlight spilled into the kitchen when I walked in, still replaying last night in my head. Liam was sitting at the counter drinking coffee. When our eyes met, he smiled a small, private smile that made me blush instantly. Good morning, he said softly. I slid into the seat beside him. Morning. You okay? He asked. I should be asking you that, I replied. He laughed under his breath. I'm trying not to think about how much trouble I'm in. Before I could respond, footsteps entered the room. Ethan. His eyes bounced between us, and stopped too long. Too knowingly. Too suspiciously. Why do you two look weird? He asked. We don't, I said too fast. Liam choked on his coffee. Ethan frowned. What's going on? And then, like fate hated me, Liam's gaze flicked toward me, soft, warm, impossible to hide. Ethan noticed. His expression changed instantly. Hardening. Sharpening. Hannah, he said in that older brother voice I hated. Kitchen. Now. I groaned. Ethan. Now. I followed him into the hallway while Liam stayed frozen in his seat. What's happening? Ethan demanded. You two are acting strange. He paused. His eyes widened. No, he whispered. No, no, no. You didn't, tell me you didn't. Ethan, I said firmly, stop. You kissed him, didn't you? I stayed silent. He closed his eyes, frustration radiating from him. He's my best friend, Hannah. And I'm your sister, I said sharply. A grown woman. Not a baby. He opened his mouth to argue, but at that exact moment, Liam walked in. I think we should talk, he told Ethan. Ethan crossed his arms. Yeah. Let's. Liam stood there, looking far more nervous than I'd ever seen him. But then he looked my brother straight in the eyes. I care about her, he said quietly. A lot. My breath caught. That doesn't matter, Ethan snapped. She's off limits. Always has been. Liam shook his head. I don't see her that way. Of course you don't, Ethan growled. I love her. The hallway went silent. My heart stopped. Ethan stared, stunned. What? He whispered. Liam swallowed. I've been trying not to. But last night, I realized how stupid that is. Ethan rubbed his forehead, overwhelmed. Liam, don't do this. I'm not playing with her, Liam said. I'm serious. Ethan looked at me. Hannah? What do you want? I met his eyes, steady, certain. I want him. Ethan sighed deeply, his anger softening into worry. If he hurts you, he muttered. I won't, Liam promised instantly. And slowly, reluctantly, Ethan stepped aside. Fine, he said. But I swear, if you mess up, you'll deal with me. Liam nodded. I wouldn't expect anything else. And just like that, The biggest obstacle fell away. But the rest of our story was just beginning. We decided to take things slow. Which lasted about 45 minutes. By evening, Liam texted me. 7 p.m. Dress warm. It's a surprise. I spent 20 minutes picking clothes before settling on jeans, a soft sweater, and boots. When he showed up at the door, his gaze swept over me like I was something he'd been starved for. You look. He exhaled. Dangerous. My cheeks heated. He drove us to the lakeside trail where we used to hang out with Ethan as kids. Only now, it felt different. Older. More intimate. Ours. He brought a small picnic, sandwiches, hot chocolate, and a blanket he insisted I use even though it was definitely cold enough that he needed it more. You're freezing, I said. He shrugged. I'll survive. So I scooted closer, nudging him playfully. Well, share then. His eyes flicked to mine, soft and warm. Slowly, he wrapped an arm around me, pulling me into his side. I felt his heartbeat through his jacket. Felt the tension in his fingers as they brushed my arm. Felt the way he kept looking at me like he wanted to memorize every second. Hannah, he murmured. Yeah? Why does this feel like I've been waiting for it for years? I smiled, leaning my head on his shoulder. Maybe because you have. He laughed softly. Do you want to know something embarrassing? He asked. Yes. I used to avoid video calling your brother because sometimes you'd walk into his room and I couldn't stop staring at you. I gasped, laughing. No way. Oh yeah. Full panic. I'd slam my laptop shut. I elbowed him. You were that obvious? Hannah, everyone knew except you. I rolled my eyes. I didn't know because I was too busy trying to get over you. He stared at me, completely still. You tried to get over me? Of course. You were gone. And you didn't reply to my messages. He groaned. I ignored those messages because you were turning 18 and I was losing my mind. What does that mean? I whispered. He met my gaze, deep, intense, vulnerable. It means I was falling for you. My breath hitched. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't speak. Instead, I lifted my hand and touched his jaw lightly. He leaned into the touch like he'd been craving it. And then he kissed me again. This kiss was different from the first. Slower. Deeper. More certain. His fingers tangled in my hair. Mine curled into his jacket. The world faded, just the lake, the night, and the warmth of his mouth on mine. When we finally pulled away, breathless, he whispered. I'm serious about you. I'm not going anywhere this time. And I believed him. Part 5, the moment everything changed. Over the next week, something beautiful formed between us. Late-night drives. Long talks on the porch. Secret smiles across the dinner table. Kisses stolen in hallways when Ethan wasn't around. Morning coffee together before work. Every moment with him felt like a soft miracle. But one night changed everything. It was raining heavily, Seattle rain, loud and endless. I was studying in my room when someone tapped gently on my door. Liam. Wet hair. Rain jacket dripping. Eyes full of something raw and unguarded. Can we talk? He asked. Of course. He stepped inside and closed the door behind him. I shouldn't be here, he whispered. Your brother will kill me. Then why are you here? He exhaled shakily. Because I can't stop thinking about you. My heart jumped. He stepped closer. I've tried so hard to take things slow, he said softly. But every time I look at you, I lose my mind a little more. My breath caught. He moved closer again, leaving barely an inch between us. Hannah, he whispered. Tell me you feel it too. I didn't answer with words. I kissed him, deeply, desperately, like weeks of tension all crashing at once. He lifted me slightly, my fingers digging into his shoulders, his hands warm on my waist. His lips tasted like rain and breathless longing. The kiss grew slow, bold, warm, PG-16 but intense enough to send shivers through me. When he pulled back, his forehead pressed to mine. "This isn't just chemistry," he murmured. "This is something I can't walk away from." "Then don't." His voice cracked. "I won't." Part 6, The Heartfelt Confession. 2 days later, Ethan caught us holding hands behind the house. He looked at Liam. Then at me. Then walked away without a word. My heart sank. That evening, I found him sitting alone in the garage. "Ethan," I said softly. "Talk to me." He sighed heavily. "I'm not mad you like someone, Hannah. I'm mad it's him." I sat beside him. "Why?" He looked at me, tired, worried. "Because if he hurts you, I'd lose my best friend. And I'd lose you too." My heart softened. "He won't," I whispered. "And even if he does, I won't break." "But you could," he said gently. I put my hand on his. "Trust me." He swallowed. "Do you love him?" I hesitated, only a second. "Yes," I whispered. "I do." He exhaled. "Then, okay." I burst into tears and hugged him. He hugged back, whispering, "I just want you happy." And I was. So happy. Later that night, I found Liam pacing outside, nervous. "What did he say?" he asked anxiously. I smiled. "He said he trusts us." Liam's shoulders relaxed with relief. Then, before I could react, he took my hands, stepped closer, and said quietly, "Hannah, I'm falling in love with you." My breath trembled. "I'm already in love with you," I whispered. His eyes softened so much it made my heart ache. He wrapped his arms around me, pulling me into his chest, kissing the top of my head. "I'm here," he murmured. "For real. For good." I leaned into him, feeling the truth of every word. And as the night settled around us, his lips brushed mine again, slow, warm, full of everything we had built in these days, these years, these moments leading to now. Not forbidden anymore. Not secret anymore. Ours.